Hello everyone. The topic that we are going to discuss is related to the geography, that is seasons on Earth, right? So this is a very basic topic and a very important. We see a lot of questions. Even in 2020 we got one. With 2018 we got one. So this is about the topic from geography, that is seasons on Earth, right? So what actually is a season? Season is a change in weather because of the change in position of Earth with related to the sun. So the main reasons for this season, the change in season, is the tilt of Earth, right? So for example, if you take two bodies, usually the axis should be perpendicular, right? So this is a vertical axis. That means if it is a circle, so this is one vertical axis, and the other body, this is a vertical axis. So if there is no tilt, then if you see this rotation, there is a no change, right? So the top position of Earth and the bottom position of Earth is same distance at, with related to the sun. But Earth is tilted towards the sun, right? So the tilt is 23.5 degree with related to the north axis. So because of this tilt, whenever there is a rotation, or sorry, revolution around the sun, the Earth revolution around the sun, there is a change of distance. For example, the tilt is fixed. It is not like the tilt is changing. The tilt is fixed. So whenever this is the position, so the northern hemisphere is nearer to the sun. And if the same goes to this side, now if you observe, the northern hemisphere went away when we compare to the southern hemisphere, right? So because of this tilt, the main reason, if the question is asked, the main reason for the season is the tilt of Earth. Of course, there are many other reasons, that is Earth position with related to the sun, and then the shape of orbit in which Earth is revolving. So there are many reasons, but the main primary reason is the tilt of Earth around the, tilt of Earth with related to the sun position, right? So that is the main reason. So we give the names of this season with respect to the seasons faced or experienced by the northern hemisphere. For example, if we call it as a summer solstice, so it means northern hemisphere is experiencing the summer solstice. If you are talking about the winter solstice, so it means northern hemisphere is experiencing the winter solstice. So we all talk about the seasons with related to the northern hemisphere. So before discussing this, just observe this Earth revolution. So how it is revolving around the sun, right? So there are two, whenever there is an equal distance of Earth with related to the sun. So you can see here, this distance and this distance is equal, right? For both northern hemisphere as well as southern hemisphere. So the tilt is actually towards the west side, right? Towards the west side, there is a tilt. There is no tilt towards the south or north, right? So the tilt of Earth is affecting only in case of the west tilting or east tilting. The when it is the position at the east side or west side. So north side and south side, we don't have any impact of tilt. So that's why we call it as a equinox. And solstice means the varying phenomena. So eastern, when it is in this position, there is a distance of northern hemisphere which is nearer to southern hemisphere, and here the northern hemisphere went away, right? And southern hemisphere came a little bit near to the sun. So this is the position of Earth with related to the sun. Now we need to also know about the different names, different dates, right? So this is a very, very important to be understood. So let's start with the summer solstice on June 21. So you can see this date, June 21. The Earth tilt is towards the sun. The northern hemisphere, I can say, the northern hemisphere tilt is towards the sun. So that's why half of the northern hemisphere, or the half of the upper hemisphere of Earth, experience the summer on June 21st, right? So this is called as the summer solstice. And you can see, as because of this tilt, the polar region here, the northern polar region, is completely under light. For every, even for the whole 24 hours, the pole is completely in the light, right? Because of this tilting nature. So in the 6 months, starting from June 21 till the next winter, this season. So 6 months completely, this northern pole experience sunlight. So there is no night life at all in the northern hemisphere. So after 3 months of the revolution of Earth around the sun, we get 23rd September, which is called as equinox. Most of the students, they may confuse here, they may forget in the exam. So on 23rd September, Northern Hemisphere experience autumn and Southern Hemisphere experience spring. So recently, when what we have conducted an open test in that I have framed one question by taking the historical example of moving from Canada, the Komatumaru incident I have created by linking it to the geography. So most of the students have answered it as wrong. Actually, the answer was spring, but they have answered autumn and all. So don't confuse. On 23rd September, we experience the autumn season in the northern hemisphere and the spring season in the southern hemisphere, right? So for Australia, South American, and some African countries, so they experience spring in the southern hemisphere, whereas northern hemisphere, like India, we experience autumn, right? So after 3 months again, so it means from here to 6 months difference. On 22nd December, we experience the winter solstice, right? We here means northern hemisphere because we are in the northern hemisphere. So we experience the northern winter in the northern hemisphere, and southern hemisphere experience the summer. So that's why we celebrate Christmas in winter. We here in the sense northern hemisphere, and Australia and many other South African countries, so they celebrate the Christmas in the summer season, right? So again, after 3 months, on 21st March, we experience equinox again, where the distance here and here is same. So that's why it is called as equinox. But now the northern hemisphere experience the spring on 21st March and southern hemisphere experience the autumn. So here also, as we have seen, the northern pole experience 6 months continuous light. During the winter season, this northern hemisphere, northern polar region completely under the darkness. So there is no sunlight at all. And similarly, it is opposite here. So it is completely under the dark, the southern pole, and here it is completely under the light. So this is how the seasons gets changes, and the names and dates are also important. And one more confusing point here is most of the students think that the earth is nearer to the sun on 21st June. No, they have calculated, they here means scientists have calculated the distance around the for every position of earth, they have calculated the distance in the whole 1 year, and they have found that on January 22nd or 23rd, the earth is the most nearest to the sun, right? So according to the calculation here, you should not consider only northern hemisphere is the nearest. You need to take care of the southern hemisphere also, right? So southern hemisphere on January 21, 22, 23, in these dates becomes the nearest point of earth towards the sun, and the farthest point is the same southern hemisphere on 22nd or 23rd July. So this is the farthest distance according to the scientists they have calculated. It is not 21st June or 22nd December, rather it is 23rd January, 21, 22, 23 January, on those days the nearest point, and the farthest point is of the 22nd or 23rd July from the sun, right? So this is about the seasons on earth that you need to know. The main reasons, as I can summarize, is because of the tilt, and then earth position with related to the sun, that is orbit, earth revolution, and a few more are the indirect ones we can say, that is the speed of earth rotation. So all those, earth rotation has no importance in case of season, but the time in which the earth takes around the sun, right? So this is the seasons on earth that you need to know. You need to understand each and every position and dates as well. So try to remember and understand mostly the mechanism, so you can easily answer the questions. So this is about the seasons on earth. Thank you.